Green Charter Township, and so we do have a significant amount of business for the township to conduct. There are 2 periods for public comment, and those will be open to everyone. All right. As a point of housekeeping, first off, kill your phones if you would, please. Silence your phones. But everyone has the right to speak. Rights come with responsibilities. Everybody has the right to speak, and everybody has a responsibility to be disruptive. The door is that way. Okay? Answer opinions without interruption. That's simple. Okay? We'll get to that. But the first things first, and then our board has business of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Born and unborn.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have in front of you your motion. Carry.
$70, $7.82.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve the general fund budget for listing at $552,970.76. And we can do the sewer fund with that. Sewer fund being $598,734.82. And I move acceptance of
Is there a second to the motion? Motion and support to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Sewer report. Troy, what you got for us?
Treasury report from February 1st through the 27th, 26 days. Meter reading 259824430. Total flow for the month 788680. Daily average 30401. 448 kilowatts for the month and 975 for the year so far.
Questions for Troy? No? Okay. There's no assessors.
Have a night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of 2 public comment sections within the agenda. Just so everyone knows the way this is going to work. First off, I apologize, but I have a feeling that a number of people here were misled. Okay, there is no motion or decision or action of the board on tonight's agenda regarding battery plant, Gotion, project, elephant, whatever you want. I know that has been reported in social media. That's simply not true. Okay? There are some questions on it, and so we have set up for that those type of things. And that will be on the 4th of April, and all are welcome. I'm sorry, thank you. The 5th, I apologize. It'll be a long night. But yeah, the 5th of April is when that will be. We asked folks, if you would, to submit your questions, and we can have them read by a moderator and keep everything, as professional, as friendly, as possible. Allow everybody to feel comfortable asking questions, because I know that some have not in the past when emotions got high. It might be best if you go to our webpage, which is greentownship.org, and question answered. That's on the 5th. There won't be any questions or discussion tonight from the board. This is everybody's opportunity to present their points of view and speak if that's what they wish. By policy of the board, and it's been for many years, each and every one of you folks will have 3 minutes. I have a timer up here set for 2:45. The reason being that I can let you know at 15 seconds to go ahead and summarize so we can go to the next person. By policy, that we can limit the public comment time to 20 minutes. At this point, it does not appear that 20 minutes is going to suffice. But we have business of the township to conduct. And so we will take that first 20-minute period The public comment, allow as many people as we can get in during that time to have their say. We will then continue on with our business. We have a number of things the township has to deal with that we're going to deal with tonight. And then those of you that have a agenda can see, we will get to a second public comment after we've done most of our business, and we will continue on with anyone who wishes to speak from there. Okay? As I said, rights and responsibilities, we expect everybody to act as adults here, and those that do not wish to are welcome to call it a night and use the door. Okay? All right. We will go to public comments, and as we normally do, we will ask our county representative to let us know what's going on with the county commissioner. Mr. Vetter.
Yes, thank you. Just a quick report. The county has been notified we are going to receive $881,000 on the marijuana tax and permits for the county use. That has not been earmarked yet. We also received a presentation on the Our Brothers Keeper and their plans moving forward for expansion and building. And I posed questions to them based upon their occupancy, and they claim that 51% are occupants from the county. That being said, I asked them the participation of their service area, and they said Newaygo, Osceola, and Lake, and of which I followed up with how much are their county commissions putting forward toward this project. Well, they have not presented to those yet. So I asked them to return back to us and let us know what those numbers were. But all in all, that's the monthly report.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to operate under the assumption that most people are here in regards to the battery plant issue, but we have other issues that face the board. So is there some folks that would like to speak to any of the other issues besides that? We'll give you folks a chance before we go on.
So 190th, north of Hoover. So I got an idea where about 60,000 of that money could go, would be to pave the, putting gravel down there. It looks much better. It is still, and I know there's lots of gravel roads around here, and this time of year they're all slop. Pavement would be nice. I did talk to Tim Nessel last month. He said it would cost about $60,000. I said, okay, got it. Thank you. So if you have any extra.
Got any laying around? Yeah. All
I
right.
just thought I'd put my dibs in first.
Nope, go right ahead. Anyone else who wants to speak to a subject other than the battery plant? All right. Well, I guess we can start right at the front row. Is there someone who wishes to speak? Yes, ma'am. If you would be kind enough, your name, please.
Deborah Magnuson.
Okay, Ms. Magnuson, what do you have to say?
I would like to submit and get it on record that we do not have to have our questions in advance. This seems deceiving, calculating, and condescending. I don't know you, so maybe that's not the way you meant it, but that's the way it comes across. We should be able to ask questions that we want, and questions should not be filtered through someone else. I also would like to get on record to invite other companies, such as Mackinac Center on April 5th, that we can hear a completely different point of view than the pro-Gotion panel that you have planned for April 5th. Also, I read the Gotion FAQ from your website, and I'm not sure why you don't ever mention that it is a Chinese company. It seems like, and I don't know you, and maybe was a mistake, but it does seem disingenuous. I cannot find one single source, besides obviously the Gotion company, that says it's not a Chinese company. Not one source. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. There's source after source after source that says it is a Chinese company. And do we really want that Chinese company in our backyard? When I clicked on the chart of the shareholders, the link above the chart, I couldn't get on because I do not live in China. That's what it said. So I've been told that it's 1/3 Chinese and 1/3 something else and 1/3. But I could not find that anywhere besides on the Gotion website itself. And even if it were 1/3, do we really want a 1/3 Chinese company in our backyard? So I know we have tough decisions to make. We have to stop buying Chinese products. There's slave labor, or worse, child labor, as young as 6. And we have to make some tough decisions. And one of those I'm hoping is that we will not have this in our backyard. Thank you.
Very well stated.
All right, so go right across in that front row, sir.
I got one real quick question.
Okay, if you would be kind enough, sir, to stand up in your name.
My name is Rod Nicholson. I just need a quick assessment to say that I've heard people say that this is not a Chinese company, like my wife said. But how come 200 Chinese people are coming over here? So it's not a Chinese company. We got 200 Chinese coming over here when this is built. I just want to know why it's not a Chinese company. Thank you.
All right, right on down the row here. Anyone? And across the second row. Please raise your hand. Oh, just 1 second. My name is Isaiah Davis. I'm a husband, father, Montgomery County Corrections Officer, an elected precinct delegate for Norwich Township, a New Jersey transplant of 8 years, but most importantly, a local resident who values the God-given beauty of our forests, wetlands, wildlife, and all of our other natural resources. I come before you today to urge you to reconsider the Chinese and German-based battery plant. It's Chinese and BMW. I moved from New Jersey and fell in love with every bit of nature that Michigan has to offer. To quote the representative from the right place, hopefully environmental contamination can be kept to a minimum. The right place seeks only to bring profit in for foreign companies, not to preserve our environment. Bringing this plant here will destroy acres upon acres of land, damage watersheds, pollute the air, bring risk of our town to be the next New Palestine, Ohio, by bringing explosive, toxic, carcinogenic chemicals to our back door. One benefit commonly spoken by those in support of this monstrous plant is the approximate 2,300 jobs the plant will bring. A quick internet search will show approximately 3,000 available jobs at an average of $19 per hour in the surrounding area. Those are open jobs ready for hire. The blight on wildlife will benefit no one else other than the board of the right place, the Chinese-based company, aka a company partially owned by the CCP, and the political talking heads that will brag about jobs but not fix our damn roads. In closing, for our future, for our children's future and health, do not allow this toxic plant into our community. You folks are all elected members that represent this town. Okay? I am fairly sure that this kind of shows what your constituents are looking for. Please take that into consideration. Turn this down. Yes, ma'am. Can you state your name for us, please?
My name is Teresa. I am the writer of these social media posts. I did not tell people to come here because it was on the agenda. I told people to come here because public comments. I'm here to talk about the fact that the founder of this company is a member of the Chinese Communist Party attempting to buy up over 500 acres of Michigan land using millions of dollars in taxpayer money, or that his son, who is the president of Gotion High Tech, is a member of the World Economic Forum. Anybody hear that? And the CPPCC, which means his values are closely aligned with the CCP. Didn't take much homework to figure all that out. I'm not here to talk about the fact that a Chinese communist company will exist on Michigan land tax-free for 30 years, even though that privilege has never been extended to me as a born and bred Michigan resident. You guys got that out there? I'm not even here to talk about the environmental hazards that this plant poses, even though it stands to be put on one of Michigan's largest watersheds in the state that flows directly to our beautiful Great Lakes. What I'm here to talk about is the fact that you are offering up this April forum as if you are trying to be transparent and allow for public discourse, when in fact, the format that you are using is a tried and true tactic of old to suppress the public's voice and keep us from getting the answers that we are truly looking for. I've been to these kinds of forums many times before and personally experienced being shut down because they did not want to answer our questions. If you are truly seeking to be transparent and take the temperature of your community, you will open up this forum to allow back and forth public discourse with these experts you are pulling in, so that we can have the public discussion that needs to happen. Otherwise, I will tell you now how this will end. It will end in a shouting match between the public you are suppressing and your board and or experts, and everyone will go home angry and dissatisfied and even more determined to shut you down. Mr. Chapman, I peeked your profile, and quite honestly, I expected to see posts supporting the Democrat Party and China Joe. What I actually saw was posts that might come from my America-loving Republican friends sitting here with me. Quite frankly, I'm appalled that you would even ever conceive that this would be a good idea to allow China into our back door.
Well, I appreciate the expression of applause and so on. We do want to get as many people in as we can. Yes, go right ahead.
Thank you. I'm Rose Spence. I've lived here all my life. My entire family have lived here their entire life. What I feel so heartfelt about is the properties that's being talked about are our farmers, on the most part, that bring all their lovely goods to Big Rapids and to Green Township. They have beautiful farms, they work hard, and they always have. And now this will change. I plead that we do not put this plant here. My goodness sakes, it's like telling Big Rapids that one, and they don't have to have it, they thought it's in this very same place that they voted down. And now it's a slap in the face to them that they thought that they made success, and they did not. It's hurting their right arm, which is Green Township, to Mecosta. Oh my goodness sakes. I couldn't feel much worse than I do. And I know that everyone does. I know that this group here values all this farmland and our farmers that work so hard to bring the goods to our grocery stores, us, and it's healthy. It's not full of all these chemicals and things that can come with food sometimes. And it's our people from this county that are bringing that to us. That is what I choose to say. And my heart goes out to all of you. And I even feel a little bad for myself. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Yes, sir, go right ahead. State your name if you would, please.
My name is Matthew Mazinski. I'm also a father, a husband. I'm an Iraq War veteran, and I could sit here and talk about all these things on here that are bad. 30 years tax-free, the pollution, the Palestine, Ohio. But the thing that drives me the most crazy about this is that this is a Chinese-owned company. The Chinese-owned company is a communist company. Why would you bring a communist company to Big Rapids, Michigan, when we have troops mobilizing right now to fight China? They're mobilizing. So why would we invite the enemy to come spy on us? All the things on here are bad, but the thing that drives me the most nuts is that it is our enemy, not the Chinese people. I have nothing against the Chinese people because they suffer under the same communism that you all are trying to bring here. It's disgusting.
Yes, sir, go right ahead. Your name, if you could, please?
My name is Doug Turner. I'm from Grant, Michigan. I'd like to point this at the board. Not because I'm upset with you all, but I just hope you realize what you guys decide about this plant could have an impact on every township, every neighborhood, every county from here to Lake Michigan and all the way to Wisconsin. Are you prepared for what could happen if they come in here and everything goes well? And are you prepared if some disaster happens and you destroy the lives of so many people in this state and possibly others?
Michelle, go ahead.
My name is Michelle, also known as Michigan Muckraker on YouTube. The key players in this project, Michigan Economic Development Corporation, Mecosta County Development Corporation, The Right Place, and Ferris all get together and talk in private about how to spend our money, taxpayer money, public money. We, the people, should have a say in Project Elephant. By its very name, it explains the scope of this project for the area. It's huge. All these key players tout this project will change the region, which America doesn't have regions, by the way. That is UN Agenda 21 talk. Sustainable Development Plan uses the term region. So the development companies use the term. If it is to bring huge change to this state, then why wasn't it on the ballot? Why is the deal almost finalized before we get to hear about it? Why don't we get to vote on this project?
Right.
And does this board know what the CEO and founder of the company, who Chuck Fellon called an entrepreneur and innovator, is a member of the CCP, as Teresa said, which he failed to mention in the Pioneer, and that his son is in the CCP and is a young global leader, as we've heard, and the president of Chuck Fellon's company that runs Fremont, California's locations. Do we want globalist utopians in our backyard? Do we want to sell our land, our children's land, to the CCP?
No, we do not.
Go right ahead, sir.
My name is Ormond Hook. I live in Big Rapids. I've worked in this area for about 45 years. When I was in the 3rd grade, we were in a Cold War with Russia, and we had to hide under our desk at school for fear of the atomic bomb. Now, we didn't know that that wouldn't help us, but that was when I was a kid. It was Russia. It was a Cold War. We are in a Cold War now with China. I can give you a list of the events. There was a new video today of a laser attack in Hawaii. Now I'm 76 years old. We're trying to make friends with another communist enemy, another country. Are we going to be hiding under our desks now? This is beyond unwise, beyond unwise. We do not invite our enemies into our bedroom. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Lang. I didn't prepare anything, so I'm just going to go off the cuff. First, I want to say thank you for his service. I'm a veteran myself, and I agree with him. Secondly, I did a lot of research on the chemicals that are involved in doing these batteries. And I'm just curious, does the board know how many micrograms per cubic air foot it takes before it poisons people of manganese? Any idea? I'll tell you, 500 micrograms, which is not very much. Graphite presents serious risk to respiratory systems, including fibrosis and pneumoconiosis. Mind you, I do have a degree in the medical field too. So, exposure to dust, fumes can lead to of manganese can lead to neurological conditions called manganism, which is similar to Parkinson's. Nickel exposure can lead to cancer, harm lungs, stomach, and kidneys. Excuse me for shaking because I'm not a public speaker. The average battery cell has 17 pounds of lithium carbonate, 77 pounds of nickel, 44 pounds of manganese, and 30 pounds of cobalt. And you're talking about bringing in 150,000 tons a year to this area. The minimum area, if there were a fire, the minimum, depending on the size of a fire, even if it's a small fire, is a half-mile quarantine area. Half a mile. Now think of 150,000 tons of these materials and something catching fire. How big of a quarantine area would that be? I've been in a position where you are. I've been on a board. I've been on a commission. It's not easy. But what you really need to do is listen to your constituents, because that is who put you where you are. And you may disagree, but you really need to look in your hearts and listen to what they have to say, because they're serious concerns, not only for this area, but Michigan even did the same air testing and quality testing in Detroit because of the fear of manganese. So I really hope that you'll take into consideration what people are saying and really rethink it. Is this really what this rural community wants?
No.
That's all
Hi, I'm Kathy Fleming. My family's been here for over 100 years, from the loggers all the way to Realtor Kathy. You know, we love our area, and the people on 131, when it's Northbound Friday, they come here. I'm also a realtor. Who's going to want to live near this thing? I'm not in Green Township. I'm in Richmond Township, right up the wind air there, and I don't want this coming towards me. I don't want this for my grandchildren. I have 3 grandchildren. I do not want this for my grandchildren. I thank you for what you do, but you definitely have a crowd here saying we don't want it here. And the fact that it's Chinese owned, we know that they own the land. The government owns the land. We know who they are. I agree. They're enemies. And we don't want them in our backyard. We don't want them here. Please don't do this. Hey, take an Amazon packing company any day over this, you know, or something maybe. I don't know who owns them, but I mean something less toxic maybe. But yeah, China is not even afraid to say they're at war with us. I mean, they have said it out loud. How dumb could we be? So in our woods, in our waters, in our watershed, I mean, it's just Michigan is lakes and rivers and trees and deer and farms and 100-year-old farms. I say no with you all. You've all said great things.
All right, well, thank you, folks. That is a 20-minute time limit with extra. There will be a second opportunity for public comment towards the end. So, but we do need to get into the business at hand. For the board, I know that it's a new business, but I would suggest that we take care of the legal representation question first. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would keep it down a little bit, thank you. All right? Keep it down. We've got work to do. Thank you. So, if you'd be good enough for the board to, unless there's an objection, turn to the new business, we'll take care of that first. As I explained to you, because of a conflict of interest with Farmika Myers representing 2 parties in regards to the Gotion plant, created a conflict of interest for Mr. Nettleton. He's an honest man, an honorable man. And he did what he should do, and that is to step back. That left us without any legal representation. After consulting with a couple of folks of the board, I temporarily retained Mr. Thrall here for our legal representation. With both him and I understood that would be temporary, retaining Robert Thal as our attorney of record for the battery plant project. Mr. Thal has, and his company has an extensive history. I'll let him explain that in dealing with this and other issues. He comes highly recommended, and some of you are familiar with him being the general counsel of the Michigan Township Association. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Thal. He can explain what he wishes to bring to us. Sir?
All right, well, thank you for the opportunity to potentially represent the township. My name is Rob Thal. I'm the senior partner in my law firm, Falcon Thal. I've been an attorney practicing township law for over 30 years. My firm does pretty much just municipal law. We represent over 100 municipalities throughout the state. So, wherever around the state, we're representing different municipalities on municipal issues in general. I also serve, and my firm serves as general counsel for the Michigan Township Association, as indicated. We have 7 attorneys in our firm who all do municipal law, township law. I've got with me today one of my partners, Seth Gotion, who will also be working with me for your township. We handle all aspects of township law at my firm. We're involved in and have extensive experience in sewer and water issues, building and zoning issues, the things that you may be dealing with, environmental issues, industrial facilities tax exemptions. We've been working on a lot of different projects around the state, big projects revolving around solar energy and solar projects. So, hundreds of millions of dollars in projects. We've been assisting townships with those types of projects. And, we're out of Kalamazoo, our firm, which is just down 131, not a bad drive up here. We also can do work through Zoom meetings, teleconferencing, or we're free to come up here also. So, we'd really like to have your business and represent your township. Mark Nettleton, I'm familiar with Mark. He's a great attorney also. So I respect the fact that, and appreciate the fact he also recommended our firm to the board. And so we'd just like the opportunity to represent you. Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, my name's Seth Coaches. I've been an attorney for 15 years. I started my career as an assistant prosecutor in the Oakland County Prosecuting Office, as well as Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office. Spent the last 8 years as a municipal attorney. When I was a prosecutor, I did everything from basic traffic offenses to capital crimes as well. So a lot of those skills actually translated over to municipal law. Myself and Rob do a lot of teaching for the Michigan Township Association, planning, zoning, land use, all sorts of issues really. Our firm's a dedicated municipal law firm. I'm a partner at the firm for about 8 years. We do work all over the state. Up as far north as Leelanau County, up in the Upper Peninsula, in Lake County, Tuscola County, and then obviously a lot down in some in the Ann Arbor area, and then downstate as well in Southwest Michigan. So if there's any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Questions from the board? Yeah, Jim.
I don't know if it's a question, but I've been down to some of the Michigan Township Association, Mr. Paul has been very effective in giving some of the education and some of the questions that come up during those sessions. I highly respect him and recommend him. I think we're lucky to get him.
Just so you know, Mr. Nettleton did furnish us with the names of four attorneys for companies and 4 firms. Some internal research, we found some others. We went through all of them, myself and Denise, and our research, Denise can speak to that if she'd like to, but our research kept bringing us back to Mr. Thal, and that's why we retained him on a temporary basis pending opportunity for the board to consider that decision. So. Other questions, folks?
I'll make a motion for that.
All right.
I would move that we retain Robert Stahl and his attorneys as counsel of Green Township. If we are confident that he'll do a good job for us, so I move that we retain.
A comment to that, Mr. Nettleton only retracted from, and is willing to continue representing us on other issues. He only retracted from the Project Elephant, but there are some other conflicts coming down, so we can either go with a single or a general changeover, whatever you feel is best.
It's nice to have the option, but if we have to make a decision on one, I'd be ready to make that decision.
Okay, so if you're looking at a change of general counsel, that's your motion?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, motion, support, discussion. Why don't we do a roll call on this one, Jan?
Jermstead.
Yes.
Peak.
Yes.
Clark, yes. Chapman.
Yes.
McFarland.
Yes.
Todd.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes. Thank you. All right, so it's all, we'll be back with you.
Yeah, I
You
look
are
forward to
welcome
working with you.
You're welcome to stay, or you gotta hit the drive. Into the general, into the agenda then, ladies and gentlemen, the board here, under old business. The first thing of point is the, report you folks on my meeting with the library board. I spoke to the board, I talked to them about our issues. I explained to them that they think we should be paying them 3/10 of a mil, and we only have a quarter mil left in our unaccounted for. And they didn't seem at all interested in any type of negotiation, discussion, or anything. I explained to them that I came in good faith, hoping to be able to discuss things, but if they wanted it black and white, that was going to change things, and the director of the library looked at me and says, it's black and white. 3/10 of a mil is what city paying people, that's what you folks should pay. I have, just so you know, I have done the calculations. If we maintain our standard of 2/3 to Big Rapids Township, or Big Rapids City Library, 1/3 to Reed City District Library, that is 3.34 mil, so 4/10 of a mil to maintain that ratio. We don't have it. All right. As a counter to that, I have talked to Reed City Library. They are happy with the penal fines we're paying, and there is no charge for our people using their library. If we don't go along with what Big Rapids City wants, they want to charge our residents $75. I talked to them about the idea of a millage, and I explained to them that the position of the board was that any time any group within our community wants to get together and get a petition to put a library millage on the ballot, we'd be more than happy to support it in any manner. They felt that that was our job to do, and I explained to them that was the board's choice, that it would be the people's choice on how that's handled. I explained to them that any increase in taxes for the library by state law must be a vote of the people. It cannot be done with the board. To which the librarian told me, well, she just came back from a conference, and that wasn't the truth. Okay, I had the state law in my hand, but that's her choice to have that opinion. At this point, my suggestion to the board is we table this for 60 days. That will allow the people of our community to get themselves organized if they like to, and bring to us a petition to put onto a ballot. At the end of 60 days, we can either work with that ballot as presented or consider our options. But my recommendation is a 60-day table. What's the board's thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, we don't have a lot of options. We don't have the money for the funding they've asked for, and so I think your motion to table for 60 days is appropriate, and that may not even answer it, but I would move to table it for 60 days.
Motion to table for 60 days, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor of the tabling it for 60 days, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion will be, the issue will be brought up in the main general board meeting. Next issue is road repairs. You, at the request of the board, I obtained quotes for 3 projects. One is 205th Avenue from Hoover to Indian Drive, and dealing with the blacktop there. Second one being for gravel on 230th for 2 miles from 22 to Misiola. The third one is gravel on 20 mile from Northland to US 131 freeway. Just so you know what you've got those in front of you, just so you know, looking backwards, and for those that might be interested, graveling 20 mile, that is 1.25 miles, and the quote we got was $33,248.49. Graveling 2 miles of 230th, and this is approximately 2 inches of gravel, 2 or 3 inches of gravel. Is $51,000. Now, the third one is a quote for blacktop on 205th, and I called Tim back on that, and I said, Tim, don't get me wrong, I'm not arguing with your number. I said, but that come in a lot less than I expected, because I don't see anything for pulverizing it. He said, if you guys want to pulverize, that's fine, but our evaluation of that road is that an overlay will suffice. So we don't have to pay for it to be pulverized or repaved, only overlay. My second question to Tim is pointing out that we don't know what's going to happen to the battery plant, and there is a lot of question in our budget based off of that. Normally they ask for a response to this in April to plan it, and his statement was, given our circumstances and the fact that we're only doing an overlay if we go with the blacktop, and Reese Riley can do that at any time, and given the fact that we're talking about gravel and their trucks can do that at any time, he says as long as we let them know by, say, August, right in there, that we can do it. So we do not need to deal with this at this time while we see what happens to our budget with all the different variables. So again, while we rarely ever table anything, I would suggest we table that for about 60 days till we know better what's going on. Long-winded, aren't I? Jim?
Well, before we table it, I would like to say, and I think our board has stood for this before, we should really consider putting some money on the gravel roads. Because in prior years, we've let the road commission do what they see is necessary, and that doesn't really cover the gravel that's needed on some of those roads. So tabling for 60 days, I don't have a problem with that, but I definitely want to consider doing some gravel work this year.
So the table will be keeping all 3 options open, tabling all 3 to make a decision later?
That's fine with me, but
I agree with you. We got
gravel.
32 miles of gravel road in this township, and those folks vote and pay taxes the same as everybody else. Is there a motion to table? Jim, you want to make a motion to table it for 60 days?
I can make a motion to table for 60 days.
Second? Motion, support, discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Again, for those folks that are here, it's rare we table anything. We deal with it, but this situation is what they are. Okay, is there any other old business that needs to be brought forward?
Mr. Supervisor, you have one piece of old business.
Yes, sir.
We discussed the Parkhill Cemetery addition, and I would like to make a motion that we rename that new addition to Parkhill Cemetery the Parkhill Anderson addition, and make that as a motion, sir.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Okay, I will say this much, that I appreciate Mr. Anderson's generosity.
Chapman?
Yes.
McFarland?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes. I'd just like to say that the cleanup that done by the scouts is very good. If you haven't driven by or seen it, you can see how well they did.
I signed off on the paperwork for the young man last night, and he will be getting his Eagle rank the end of this month, I believe. That was that sign off was the last thing you need, so we now have another Eagle Scout for 2114. Congratulations to young Mr. Hughes. All right, any other little business? Seeing none, new business, we've already taken care of the question on Mr. Thal. We had a large funeral dinner here a few weeks ago, and all the chairs were put out. When we do serving of people, and the capacity rating of our building is different depending on the circumstances, but when we are seated for serving food purposes, we have a capacity of 111. Due to attrition, we're down to about 105 chairs. What you have in front of you, I went shopping, and these look like the best deal. These are Lowe's. They're $130 for 4. So I'm asking for a dozen. So I'm sorry, I should have had them after 5, 6, 9, 390. No, that's not right. Yeah, $396, $400 for a dozen chairs.
Where are these from?
Lowe's. Of the local suppliers, they seem to be the ones that have needed at the best price. So I'm asking board for permission for $400 out of the hall section of the budget to pick up a dozen chairs.
Mr. Chapman, being a veteran, I'm eligible to get another 10% discount. I'd be happy to.
Okay, I'll be happy to, that's fine. That's fine, Roger. If you want to handle it, that's great. Then I'll ask the board permission for $400 for Roger to budget up to $400 for Roger to get a dozen chairs from Lowe's.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Roger's motion, is there a second?
I'll support.
Motion, support, discussion.
Carol.
Yes.
Next question before the board is Brian and Eagle has changed some of the standards on those. I spoke to the road commission. First off, most of the standards change is if you use the Brian consultant. But that lessened their response, and they still haven't got a solid answer. Eagle hasn't issued any final ruling. So what I was told was the road commission's decision was to continue with business as usual for this year, 23, and see where we're going. They can't guarantee exact times like they did, like they tried to last year, but that was based off a commercial company doing it, and of course we all know that fell through. Mr. Nessel said they'll do their best to hit the same general time period. But we have the option of 1, 2, or 3 applications at $140 a mile, and I should have my math down to 140 times 32, whatever that works out to.
One application would be $4,480. 2 applications, $8,960. And if we decide to do 3, which I think we did last year, $13,440. We can decide to do 2, and then later, if we need to, we can do the 3rd one.
They've offered us that option in the past,
Okay.
yes. Jim?
Well, I think based on what's been successful in prior years, I would move that we go with 2 applications. The road commission on 2 applications.
Support.
Motion and support. Okay, discussion. Roll call?
Jernstedt.
Yes.
Peak.
Yes.
Clark, yes. Chapman.
Yes.
McFarland.
Yes.
Todd. Carol.
Yes.
Next time I'm in here is just to let the board know that I am calling a special meeting on Wednesday the 5th of April at 6:30. At this point, we will be doing it here. I know it's a bit crowded, so we're going to do the best we can. We really don't have a large option within our township, and this is our township meeting, so it should be done in our township. The purpose of that meeting is to bring in some I hate the word experts, but those with a strong background in various fields, whether it be the wastewater treatment plant that would be accepting the effluent from the Gotion plant, fire rescue, which of course is also responsible for hazmat. Well, I hope to have somebody from there. We have talked to the right place. I have talked to Gotion. I talked to Mr. Nessel from the Road Commission. He said while he personally would love to do it, he does need permission from his board. And we have to respect that. So hopefully we have somebody from the Road Commission, and I've got some angles. I'm still trying to see if we can get somebody from Eagle. My hope is to provide some facts to the public, not just politicians espousing their personal opinion. Okay? Folks need facts, and I'm hoping to be able to do that. I did, as you see, set up a format which uses pre-submitted questions and a moderator. I understand that some people have concerns about that, mostly based off of whether or not we can be trusted to do it. But I have a bit of a history of being somewhat trustworthy, and I do know that from our prior meetings and meetings that our neighbors to the south held, that many folks with opinions that were in the minority were intimidated to speak out, and I'm trying to provide them with an alternative format that they can get their questions in also. We have folks that don't like to speak in public, a lot of them don't, and this is a format for them. And those that just simply can't be here that night. It is spring break for the school, so there's some folks that are gone with their kids on vacation while they got their opportunity. We're trying to do that. It may not be a perfect solution. I'm open to the board's suggestions as we go along. Until we get to that, any modification recommended by any of the board members is something I'm perfectly willing to consider. But that's where we sit at this point. So we will be holding a special meeting here on the 5th at 6:30 with that panel available and the questions from the public. Okay?
Sir,
This is not the time to comment, thank you.
is it not possible to do both?
I'm sorry, we're not, this is not the time, it's just too large of a crowd to be able to do question and answer. I apologize, man. Okay. Next thing on here is a resolution for the year-end amendments and bills. I believe somebody has that motion. Yeah, we've got copies of it. If somebody, yeah. Okay, well, your clerk, your motion. You get to read it, how's that?
Okay, to authorize pay the year end of March 31st, 2023 bills and budget amendments implementing balancing reconciliation for the general and the sewer funds. I so moved.
Second.
Motion, support, discussion.
Mr. Chairman, we've done this one every year, so.
Yeah.
It's not new.
Yep, nope, it's not new, but it is necessary for it to be legal. Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, ma'am?
Jernsted.
Yes.
Peak.
Yes.
Clark, yes. Chapman.
Yes.
McFarland.
Yes.
Todd.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other new business, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. Well, I'm going to stand up and we started from the front this time, last time, so we'll start in the back next time. Exactly what we did earlier. I believe hopefully we can get it done in 20 minutes. We'll see where we're at the end of those 20 minutes. But we will want to recognize, allow each person their opportunity for 3 minutes. But I will have this set for 2:45. Everybody went pretty much short of that, which is fine. But at 2:45, we'll be switching to we'll ask you to summarize. So, starting from the back. Yes, ma'am, you've had your hand up eager. Go right ahead. If you got to have your name, please.
My name is Debbie Todd. I live in Jersey. My first question would be, I'm really curious why you guys would contemplate putting the library issue on the ballot, but you didn't consider putting on the ballot about Gotion, which has long-term farming effect. Yeah. Everyone in this community, your constituents who voted you into those chairs up there should have had a chance to vote for the Gotion issue. My next issue would be, I talked to Bill Stanek about the alleged high-paying jobs that Gotion would bring in, and I asked him what would that amount to in dollars, and he said roughly $61,000 per year. I said, does that include bennies? And he said, yes. And I said, so tell me, what would that come out to for an hourly rate? And he said, that is the average of administration and the workers. So the boots on the ground are probably not going to have high-paying jobs as is being alleged. The next thing is, are the Chinese workers going to come in on a green card where they get to work and not pay a copper penny of income taxes through 6 years, and then they go back? How is that fair to the rest of us that pay our taxes? And the last thing is, when they talk about green energy, they want green energy to run that plant. Well, solar panels and turbines take fossil fuels. That is not green energy. And there's not enough wind around here for turbines, or the wind companies would have been in and approached you guys already. And for solar, it takes up acres and acres and acres with those panels. And I don't think that's what any one of us wants in our community. No. Thank you.
In the back, well, you got in the middle, trying to get it a little bit of the back here. Anybody? Okay, Ladina, go ahead.
Ladina Smalley, I live in Grant Township, but I live 4 miles due east of the location that Goshen's going to go to. And I want to thank the board. You didn't know you were going to get into this when you got on the board, so thank you for continuing to show up. Jim, thank you for all the work you've done with Boy Scouts and being a police officer long ago. But I want to point something out.
Not that long ago.
30 plus years for Boy Scouts. But anyway, so I want to point something out though. That Boy Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout law. I will strive to be trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, reverent. So, thrifty, work to pay your own way. This is what's on the Boy Scout website. Maybe the federal and state government should be expected, along with Gotion, to be thrifty with their money, use their money instead of corporate welfare. And let's see, I have one more thing on here. Can't read my own writing. So, and I also, the same thing, I noticed that you're willing to try to have a petition go around and perhaps voting for the library, but then you haven't done that with Gotion to have people have a petition or voting. So please reconsider that before you make the final vote.
Yes.
Yes, sir, go right ahead.
My name's John Hollingsworth. I'm a Green Township resident and also a delegate. I'm kind of concerned. I was first for prudent progress. I don't think it's so prudent anymore. I look at the environmental issues. We had 131 was overrun with water, and it was a one-time thing. But at the same time, you start adding all this stuff. It's kind of crazy. When I look at national security, I see that Ferris has not only their battery program, but they just signed a deal with the NSA to access the satellites. And we know what the voracious appetite for our intellectual property is. This seems to just invite God, who knows what. You know, so it just really, there's shops around right now here that need work. They can't even film it with that right now. We say 45 minutes. If they raise the price of gas, how are these people gonna get to work from this area? And then if we don't have that, in the Chinese manufacturing, they use AI robots. Okay, so what happens then, they bring AI to take for the jobs that we were supposed to have to pay us back over the 30 years. We also will have a big change in our community. I grew up in the Pontiac area. Great place to be from, but right now it's heavy on the from. And anyways, you're gonna see a big rise in crime. It's just with the population, it's just naturally gonna happen and everything like that. There's major changes that will come to this community, and it's something that has to be thoughtfully and prudently done. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Gentleman with the dark hat.
Yeah, Mr. Chapman, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Joseph Fox, and I represent the 101st District, which is Newaygo County, parts of Lake, Oceana, etc. I want to say especially thank you because in contrast to Lansing, Republicans don't get to speak very much. I am saying that I hear the people speaking here tonight, and I came here along with many Newaygo County and other 101st District residents who are downriver. And just want to make the simple statement that food and water security is national security.
Yes, yes.
And we're messing with our national security. So I want to encourage you to keep Green Charter Township green.
Yes.
And also, I don't know what word game is being played with calling this the Elephant Project, but I don't like it. Thank you very
much. We'll go clear to the back, the gentleman leaning against the wall there by the board.
Hello. Hello?
Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, my name is Carl Stratz. Lived all my life here. I got a question. I've heard this is already a sealed deal. What we're doing here today is futile. Can the board answer this question? Is there anything the board can do to stop this?
While I said we wouldn't answer questions, that question seemed to come up, and this is not a done deal. There are issues for the board to consider as we go along. There are issues that is no guarantee that Gotion is going to go ahead and complete the deal. So to answer your question, sir, no, it is not a done deal.
We'll hold on.
All right, thank you. Jeff, go ahead.
I'm Lori Brock. I've been in the community for 39 years. Love this community. I was on the Chamber of Commerce, the Ambassadors, Builders Trade. I mean, I've given my heart and soul to be in this community and have a safe environment. My farm is a half-mile from where this is going in. Nobody ever said, is this okay? Is this what you want? You want an industrial plant that's dangerous and toxic in your backyard? I think this is pulled over our eyes very quickly, and I don't think it's right. And I don't think it's right by telling people that they're going to get more money, because what it's going to do is, say the people at Hayworth that have been paying taxes forever, they can't afford to pay the wages that Gotion can because they're tax-free. Why is a communist country getting tax-free money when our locals aren't getting it?
Right.
We're Americans, and we got to stick together. And that's what this is about. And it's not fair. It's not fair. And it's not fair to pollute our environment. I mean, if you guys didn't realize, Dunsall Creek is a trout stream. That pond in my front yard feeds right into the Muskegon River. Do we want that polluting a whole waterways? Nobody's even taking this into consideration. It's just pushed over our eyes. I just don't think it's right, and I think we need a lot more consideration, and I think this should have been on the ballot.
Yes.
Thank you.
I said I'd go to the back first, so I'm looking at,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming. My name is
You're
Jeff.
you're just being a gentleman, Jeff, sorry about that, go ahead.
Somebody has to. I've lived in this community for almost 40 years in Green Township, and my wife and I started from scratch our own business 30 years ago in Big Rapids Township. And we're proud to say that we've worked, to the heart, and love this community and plan to stay in this community. So I'm trying to collect my thoughts so I don't ramble. If anybody know me, that's not easy. I get it. Okay, this community invested millions of dollars into an industrial park area 25 some years ago, and it's gotten no ROI, return on your investment. And this comes along, and I understand we would like to have sustained growth, and you're responsible as a board. I've been on a school board. I know what it's like to have a position of leadership, and it's not always popular to make tough decisions. Okay, but we want good, sustainable growth. Somebody just mentioned Hayworth. When the people of this community rose and went to Holland and courted Hayworth and to Lansing to get tax breaks, and we brought Hayworth here and bought land in our industrial park that we have and brought those jobs here. It's possible we can do that. I get it, okay? But this is not it. This is not what we want. This is what we need. Okay, I've heard all the comments and the ditto, and I won't repeat that. And so what my comment is, and really is, I wanted to direct to the board and to say to you guys, really, is this what you want? Is this your legacy that you want to look back and to say that you divided this community with people? I heard earlier saying, oh, there's people that are really for it, but they don't want to talk about it. Well, they should be here. Okay, they should talk about it. I don't know who they are, where they are, and I'm sure there are some. Okay, and I'm sure there's benefits from the university here. Dr. Pink, Ms. Pink, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. You are our community, wonderful. Okay, but there's ways of going about it, building a sustainable growth and environmentally safe and American companies on American soil. Okay, like many of us rolled up our sleeves and did for years and planted seeds. So is this what you want, to look back and say, yeah, we brought this in and we cut this community in half? Families and people bickering among each other and arguing over. Is that what you want? Is that what you want, to divide and uproar this community? It's pretty obvious. I don't know how many board meetings you've had that had this many people this boisterous express your opinion. And as elected officials, as somebody said earlier, you represent the will of the people. This is a representative democracy that we live in, okay? And that's just what we're expressing to you of what we expect and want for our community. We have federal, we have state, we have county. This is where the rubber hits the road. In 15 seconds. Now, by the way, you can take some of the 180,000 pot money and put it towards our roads. That's what I want you to ask. Is that what you want to be able to look back on? Okay, and I won't even go into the issue of this property, this land, and who owns it. Okay, and I think there are some that can present a conflict of interest on our board. Okay, the sale of this land, if you look at your map, and some should be recused. That's the right word? Recused. Thank you. There's a PT, not an English teacher. All right, thank you very much for coming.
Please.
I am Lisa. So this is the people of the community. And I'm asking you, the board, do we, the people, get an opportunity to vote on this, given the response and the concerns of everyone here? And if not, what do we got to do to get a vote? Is there something we can do to get a vote?
This committee right here could make...
Sir, go get your turn in a second. Thank you. Okay. The gentleman wants to drink, so we'll go ahead and let him have the opportunity.
I request, and I think it's not alone here, that you pass a motion tonight to table this entire decision until we have a vote in the community. And if we need to petition it, I don't think that's necessary in the event that we have. So I think a vote, and you have to tonight table this decision based on, find out the rules and regulations of what's coming, and we can vote on it. Okay, thank you.
Deborah Dyer, I've been to several of these meetings, and some of the first meetings, Gotion's representative said they were only interested if they purchased the land. They would no way consider a lease. Why do they have to own the land? Mid-Michigan is very, for many years, they've been doing the research. We have so many natural resources. Us and gas fields, water, potash, so many things that the Chinese want. And we're not in a Cold War, we're in a warm war with them right now.
Right.
They want the tentacles in here. We're by army barracks, we're by airports. Detroit has open factories, roads, waterways, expressways, railways. Gotion said our roads weren't going to support it. It's going to cost taxpayers money to improve the roads for Gotion. There is no rail here. They want to use our waterways. They're not sufficient, so things are going to change, and we're going to end up looking like Detroit, I'm afraid. I'm all for business, but not communist business.
Right.
Yes, ma'am, in the back.
My name is Candy Downey. I'm from Big Rapids Township, and I just very briefly, Mr. Chapman, I've seen you say on a couple of occasions that you believed you had between 90 and 95% support for this project in Green Township from your residents. I came here tonight because I am from Big Rapids Township. I came here tonight solely to see if that was true, and I guess I had my question answered, and I applaud every one of you here speaking out. I applaud you.
There in the back.
So I'm one of your nervous speakers, so hopefully I can articulate what I'm trying to say well. My name is Caitlin Netzley. I'm from Big Rapids. I'm actually from Arizona. I'm a transplant. And Michigan has won me over. But I've done a lot of research on a lot of the plants, the battery plants that have been here in Michigan currently. Back in 2018, in Holland, there was a battery plant fire that devastated over 1,000 community members. And when you look at the population that you're currently wanting to put this into, we only have about 9,000 people in Big Rapids. 1,000 people being devastated by something like that would absolutely take us out. And not only that, but in 2017, there was a 7.8 poverty line population in Big Rapids. That has drastically increased since the pandemic. I want that to be considered when you understand that those people are depending on the natural resources such as the fish, the wildlife, all of those things that will be impacted, not only by the potential of all of the hazardous materials that can be emitted from it, but the noise pollution in itself. And I understand that when you're not part of that poverty population, it's really hard to make that decision for those people. And a lot of those people can't be here tonight, so I want to be part of that. And I want to represent them, and I want to represent the people that can't be here and represent their voices. So please consider the fact that there is so much more. There's an investigation currently going on in Detroit with the chemical plants, the battery plants that are already there, about all of the hazardous materials that are being dumped into our Great Lakes. That is ongoing, and that is fact. So if you want those facts, this is what it is.
Good job.
Just a couple more in. Gentleman there in black.
Don McCase, I live here in Green Township. I'm the minority in the room, so I want to say right up front, I appreciate all the work that you as board members are doing. I understand and know that you guys have way more information than we as the public do. In fact, I'm pretty sure I voted for each one of you throughout the many years that I've lived in this township to trust you, to trust the fact that you're going to do what's in the best interest of all the residents, not just the residents that show up, but all the residents of this township. And I want to thank you guys for that. I understand that I don't know all the details that are going on with this deal. I don't need to. That's what you guys, we voted you in to do that. We trusted you to make the best decision for us, whether we agree with it always or not. And I just want to say I thank you guys for that. To what everyone is saying about everything else, I'm going to say that I'm not sure that I know all the details. I'm going to hope that organizations like the DEQ are going to come in and make sure that everything's going to be safe. I'm going to hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, responsibilities, please.
Talk to the people in Ohio.
Yeah. One more out, that's one warning. The door's that way. Sir, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to hope that you're doing all of your due diligence, both legally, in accordance with the laws of our state and federal government. I'm going to hope that you're doing all of your due diligence in what you believe is the right thing for us moving forward, not just for today and tomorrow, but for the next 30 years. I've talked to residents from other communities that have had large corporations come in Newaygo, in other areas, and a tax abatement is nothing that is unheard of. And I understand that that is something that you guys have to weigh very heavily on what that impact will have on our community, and I appreciate you guys for that. I also know that this is obviously not a popular thing with everyone who's here. However, I am trusting you guys to be able to put your best foot forward, to collect all the data that you can, and then come up with the best possible outcome for all the residents of Green Township. And with that, I'll give up the rest of my time.
Thank you. Thank you. One more. Steve and I worked together a lot of years, so we'll finish up with Steve.
Thank you, Jerry.
Still got people who want to comment.
Yeah. Here's the detail. Well, my name is Steve Fitzgerald. This is my brother. We've 5 generations. My dad, grandfather, great-grandfather lived here for a long time. Here's the detail. The Chinese Communist Party's principles are entirely at odds with every single principle of our Bill of Rights.
Right.
None of that. Another detail. Tons of talk about war for years with China. Now, if you're a Chinese military officer, what would you give to have a nice foothold in the center of Michigan?
Yeah, right.
Also, entirely off subject, what would you give to have the Democrats be successful in all those anti-gun laws that they're pushing?
Right.
They want to make every one of you defenseless, just to ease the job of whoever comes here as an enemy. Stop voting Democrat. What's wrong with you? I know you guys
Policy is 20 minutes. It's been 25 now. And quite honestly, we'll say
OMA.
I'd like to talk about the real elephant in the room. That's the fact that the supervisor.
Ma'am, you were not called on. Thank you very much.
In 2021.
Ma'am, you were not called on. Thank you very much, Deputy.
It looks like the community has spoken, not in my backyard is what it looks like. I'll make sure that you guys continue
Ma'am,
to
you
stand
are
together.
disorderly and you will leave. Goodbye. What's the choice of the board? You get 20 minute extension. Give me one moment, please. You're doing that. How about a little bit of professionalism, a little bit of adult? Okay? What is the choice of the board? Hey, the policy says 20 minutes unless allowed to continue by the board. Okay? Choice of the board is what? Okay, choice of board is that the 20 minutes does stand. Comment.
Point of order.
Thank you very much. All right, as welcome to stay for those financials as we go through them. If you wish to leave, you are welcome to do so. We ask you to do so quietly. If you choose to stay, we ask you to do so quietly. We'll take a couple minutes up here and then we'll get back to it and let everybody make a choice. Hold it, cool.
See ya.
Good to see you. I'll talk to Tudor, but I got your video, your speech on video. So well, yeah, we saw your face, but we can send it to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can send you my email address.
Yeah. Thank you.